rising COVID cases in China, mainly driven by the BF.7 strain of Omicron variant of coronavirus, which has been detected in India too. Now, numbers may be small, but there's why the government is worried and what you should do to be alert. BF.7 mainly causes upper respiratory infection, meaning congestion in the higher parts of the chest and near the throat. Fever, sore throat, runny nose and cough are other common symptoms. India has been reporting fewer than 200 cases a day for several days now. As for BF.7, all 4 cases confirmed so far came up between July and October, 3 in Gujarat and 1 in Odisha, and the patients were isolated, treated and have recovered. Dr. Shahej Anand joining me on the broadcast. He's the IMA president. Good morning, sir, and thank you so much for joining us on the broadcast this morning. Now, doctor, I would like to ask you, not even India, the world has witnessed COVID in a very severe manner from the starting of the first wave till now. We still haven't completely come out of it. Sir, now we are getting to know that there are rising cases in China again, and India has also got the same virus which has been now erupting in China. Sir, how do you think, how severe is this virus that is now being detected all around the globe?
In view of sudden surge of COVID cases in different places in the world, so I may becoming alert. As I think this is not very crucial for the India. India people has developed herd immunity, but we have to suffer because the Indian 3-4 people from the Gujarat and 1 from Odisha has suffered, and all about 145 new cases reported in 24 hours in India. And about 5 lakhs people have suffered from China, South Korea, and France, Brazil, etc. So the IMA issues advisory on impending COVID outbreak. We have to be alert. So it will be better, we should not be panicked. Prevention is better than a cure. So we have advisory face masks are to be used, social distances is to be maintained, regular hand washing, public gathering like a marriage, political and social meeting, avoid international travel. If consult the doctors if patients suffer from cough, cold and fever, and those who have not taken vaccination, COVID vaccination, they should take vaccination. Booster dose must be taken and follow the government advisory issued from time to time. So, we have seen in Gujarat cases, patient was not very serious. Patient only has got a cough, and after he was leaving the house, and we have heard the patient has not been admitted in the hospital. So this is not a panicky. We have not worried, but we have to be alert. Any moment, this corona will come in India because all the travelers, like in Bihar, we have seen a huge gathering in Bodh Gaya. From the Chinese, Tibetan, all people have reached here. We have seen airport, no one is wearing this mask. So we have to be alert, and the airport, the station, and this bus adda, we have to check the corona check should be done. So about 5 lakhs doctors are becoming alert, and we have alert all doctors, Indian doctors, for these cases. We have seen first and second time. So this new China variant BF.7 is not very virulent as I think in India, but we have to be alert. Madam.
All right, I also have Dr. Rashmi Gupta, the director of Flex Hospital, joining me on the broadcast. Good morning, ma'am, and thank you so much for joining NewsX this morning. Ma'am, we were discussing about the severity of the virus. How severe do you think that this virus is? Because there have been earlier situations wherein India has taken certain steps. Now India is also putting its front foot forward as the cases rise in China. Ma'am, how do you think that all this situation, how should the citizens, what should they do? How severe should they think that this virus is, and what all precautions should they take?
See, at this moment, it is very difficult to say how severe it is, because the last time also we saw it can be minor. It has a huge range of symptoms, and it also depends upon the patient immunity as well, his comorbid conditions, his age factor, that how will it manifest in a particular case. So what we all should do is we all should be aware of our preventive measures, which should be followed very strictly. We should follow the COVID protocols, because at this point you never know that the next few days what is going to happen. Because as we are seeing in China as well, the severity is too much, the mortality rate is also too high. At this point in India, the cases are mild, I agree, but the scenario, how actually it mutates very rapidly. So, and the people with comorbid condition, it can manifest very severely as well. So we should follow the COVID protocols. We should boost our immunity. We should go for the vaccinations, because the booster dose is lagging behind. Many of us have not taken the booster doses, and even the booster dose which has been taken, it has been, I think, 9 months and more, the last vaccination when it was taken. So it is a time to reboost the vaccination drive, so that the preventive measures can be taken and the surge and the severity can be taken into check. As the government is also very much aware about this thing, and the government has issuing the advisory also for the COVID protocols and for the safety measures. So we all should be very careful that it is a moment for us to be aware and to be more cautious and be responsible for this. Because now it is time for the public to take a step forward, because we all know that we have seen so many scenarios and this COVID second wave, that how severe it was and how severe it can be. So this is the time that we should all be focused on the preventive measures. We have a time. We are because maybe in next 2 to 3 weeks, it can cases surge can be there in India as well. So it is our time to be very cautious and take all the preventive measures, go for the vaccinations, and avoid these unnecessary gatherings and all, as the government is also issuing the advisory for the same.
All right, ma'am. Now I would like to take another question to Dr. Gilada. Now, Dr. Gilada, we know that the government is issuing advisory. It is taking appropriate and necessary steps. Sir, what do you think that the government should keep like the major takeaways from the previous situations in mind and make the steps or the advisory for the forthcoming advisory that the government is going to let out?
Thank you very much for having me on this show. I would like to set out 3-4 points which are pertinent. Number one, at the government level, what they are doing is fine, and what they are advising is also fine. But medical science believes evidence-based medicine. Evidence suggests that Omicron has been a variant of support in India rather than variant of concern. Last 11 months, 12 months, we have seen no let-up in hospitalization, no let-up in oxygen demand or ventilator demand. And in the entire week, we have hardly 1,000 cases. If you just talk about number of cases per day, India is at the rank 60. But if you talk about per million cases, India is at rank 160 out of 215 countries. So I think we are doing so better. Secondly, yes, if something is happening here and there, we should be worried. But we should be worried about if it is really going to happen in India. So we are talking about unfounded fears. How will India let up? India is currently having only BA.2. and some cases are BA.3, and recombinant is XBB, which is also BA.2. Whatever is happening in China, Taiwan, South Korea, Japan is BF.7. And what is happening in America, Western Europe and Brazil is BQ1. They are both descendants of BA.5. Since beginning, India never got BA.4 and BA.5 in a big way, because it is just like a territory of underworld people. If one area is infested by one underworld people, other underworld people are not allowed to come. So India was already infested by BA.2 and BA.3 when BA.4 and 5 was emerging in Western countries, and India could never get that because we are already occupied by BA.3 and 2 and 3. Secondly, China, you cannot compare with China because China is a liar. They don't tell any truth. We do not know how long this is happening. It is not happening overnight. And there are two policies which are falsified or fault. Number one, zero COVID policy is not possible with COVID. COVID is here to infect 100% of us. 80-90% naturally, other people could be vaccinated. In India also, there is a saying that if you are 90% people are infected, 10% people are telling lies. 100% people are infected. Now, China's second problem is Sinovac vaccine, which is a very poor vaccine. I am not quoting my study. It is not Indian study. It is not my study. The study is in Malaysia. They compared infections in people who were vaccinated with AstraZeneca, which is Covishield in India, mRNA from Pfizer and Sinovac. And they found that those people who have been vaccinated, some people got infection, some people died. If one person died of AstraZeneca, 2.5% times more people died of mRNA, 10 times more people died of Sinovac. So currently, China is having a very poor vaccine and poor policy. And despite our differences with China, if China asks, India can support China with number one, good policy, number two, vaccine. And we have abundant vaccine and production capacity, we can support China. Now, lastly, preparedness is important. So preparedness should not go beyond the preparedness circle or medical circle. We are currently panicking entire country. Since morning I am getting calls after calls. Sir, COVID aa raha hai, kidhar COVID hai? So we are talking about unfounded fear. When really comes, people are not worried. And lastly, you are talking about booster. Yes, booster has been not given properly. The policy was falsified initially. It was for 60 and above. When a lot of vaccines were to expire, then they reduced it to 60 and below. And then they started after that 60 and below. But 5 crore vaccine expired. People are not taking because COVID is lying low. Deaths are low. So it's a psychological reaction to people. So we should boost up this mechanism by, as my colleague Dr. Singh said, there are 5 lakh doctors or 15 lakh doctors or 10 lakh doctors. Allow every doctor to vaccinate. If I am able to give typhoid vaccine, hepatitis B vaccine, pneumovac vaccine, flu vaccine, why can't I give COVID? So don't put a ration on COVID vaccine. So we are falsified in the policy where doctors are not allowed to give. You are training those people which are never given vaccine in life, and we are allowed the 5 crore vaccine to expire. I think this is a ridiculous thing. We should open up vaccine to everybody. Let people go and buy from chemist shop. Let people go and buy from chemist shop. Let them go to doctor. Yeah. And those which are bedridden or having some kind of comorbidities, they are always in touch with doctor. Let that doctor give vaccine. Let that vaccine be made available with the doctor. By doing this, we are happy. Let us have a good new year. Nothing is going to happen. Nothing happened in Diwali. Nothing happened in Navratri. Nothing happened in Dashera. So I think just creating a fear is wrong. Asking people to mask up voluntarily. Don't make any compulsion. Do only targeted testing. Random testing, when the outcome is only 1%, is wrong. Out of that 1%, again, 70% will be XBB. So I think, what are you going to gain? Whatever number of your cases you got due to genome sequencing, that's fine.
All right, Dr. Gilada, I would like to now take my question to Dr. Shehjanand. Now, sir, you heard what Ishwar Gilada had to say. Like the advisory that the government is going to give, the doctors, the people are consulting, there shouldn't be a specific targeted doctors set to give the vaccines, but any and every doctor who is present and the people are consulting on their regular basis should be able to give one. Sir, how do you respond?
I was very much agreeable Dr. Gada. So, first, this booster dose the doctors should take. Doctors should be taken. This booster dose is very much essential for the doctors, and doctors should give the patients. And almost all the people, more than crores and crores in India, has already taken the booster dose. So our co-vaccine is very good vaccine in the world. We have already seen. We have the herd immunity has developed by this co-vaccine. So Indian people are not suffer from. So I am very much agreeable with Dr. Ishwar. Whatever he has told, we are very much agreeable. So these days, those who have taken vaccine, those who have not taken vaccine, vaccine should take very soon. And whatever advisory we have given and Government of India has given, we have to follow. And protocol of this COVID, we have to follow strictly. If we will not follow, then it may become very dangerous for the people. But again, I am saying it is not a panicky. It is not a panicky. Those patients who we have seen the Gujarat and Odisha, they are not very much serious. They only suffer from only cough and cold, and after a few days they have already cured. So as we are thinking, this China variant BF.7 is not dangerous as I am thinking for India. But for the other country is very much dangerous because they have not developed this herd immunity because of poor vaccination. And our vaccination is very much good. So again and again, we are saying those doctors who have not taken this vaccine, booster dose should be taken, and he has should motivate the people to take the vaccine. The vaccine is very much essential for the people, for the patients of the country. Thank you.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.